Jesus says, we are draining the swamp in your heart, things that poison you. May 11th, 2017. Words from Jesus through Sister Clare, spoken by Jackie. Clare began, may the Lord impart great courage and wisdom to us who are going through trials. May we come forth strong, with new growth, putting forth the most joyous grapes. My dear Heartdwellers, the last 2 days have been very emotionally difficult, a lot of repenting. It seems the Lord has gone into the Panther's lair in order to clear out the corruption in my heart. I've been struggling with having my own way for 2 days now, and every time I see that I cannot, it stings, burns, aches, and is so very frustrating. I'm learning the depth of my depravity when it comes to the things of the world, even though they are so very tiny in comparison to what I could be distracted or run after. I received a very good rhema, a quote from Mother Teresa. Once the longing for money comes, the longing also comes for what money can buy. Superfluities, nice rooms, luxuries at the table, more clothing, fans, and so on. Our needs will increase, for one thing brings another, and the result will be endless dissatisfaction. That was a rhema I got about 3 days ago, when the Lord was trying to get my attention. You're going through a purification of heart and attachments. I know it is painful, but you're releasing parts of the world that are like sediment on the bottom of your heart. Things you inherited from your mother, your own desire nature. Things that poison the spiritual life and dilute your effectiveness in serving me. I know it is painful. That's the effect of accumulated worldly desires you've never quite released all the way. Yes, you could call it a stronghold. It has many tentacles stretching to every area of your life. I'm removing them, Clare, but first you must renounce them. I'm taking them away, and you having to confront their influence over you is part of the letting go process. They have hindered you all your life. They have twisted your walk when it could have been straighter and accomplished so much more. The enemy has used them to sidetrack and distract you. I know how painful it is. That's why I told you to meditate on my hands, my feet, and my side. Because I suffered those pains to purchase you out from among the world's ways that so dominated your thinking. You have had many purgings, but this one is designed to be your last. That's one reason why it is so painful, day after day. My love, when you feel like pursuing the things I told you to give away, you are looking into the jaw of the monster and the very power that can derail your destiny if you allow it. The only way to deal with it is complete and final renunciation of self-will. Not that this is the last test of your life, far from it. But this is a big one designed to break this stronghold. As you know, you are ready for deliverance when you have overcome the temptations of the enemy in a certain area, and you've gotten to the point where you don't want it anymore. This is a good sign. Breaking with it and declaring you don't want it is a good indicator that if I removed the demonic oppression elements of the stronghold, you will be delivered. Finally. It is going to take a while to build up resolve that you refuse to say yes to this vice. A very little while, But I want you to be brave and courageous, because the rewards I have for you are far beyond the sacrifice you are making. Yes, I made beauty to be enjoyed, but for a soul consecrated to the service of God, there must be a strict adherence to the movement of my spirit, without any hint of self-interest. You have known this freedom in the past, and you will know it again, I promise you. I've begun this work, and I will finish it. But I acknowledge to you, Clare, it is painful. The more entrenched it is within you, the more painful the sacrifice of casting it away. My love, I'm asking you to be inebriated in my presence, my beauty alone. I know at times it is difficult to find that place of peace where the contemplation of divine truth and my being are all that matters to you. But you see, I need that space inside of you to be filled with my spirit. There is not enough room when the sludge and sediment of this world has built up layer upon layer upon layer. And when he said that, I also remembered another rhema that I got. If we do not choose to mortify our passions, we may live in fear and doubt everything. Focus and deny yourself what is not necessary. At that point, I saw a red heart. The interior chamber of this heart was over half full of mud. Yes, we are draining the swamp in your heart, so you have so much more room for me and my love for souls. So much more room. How beautiful indeed is the heart that has been freed from years of corruption through self-will and avarice. You could rightly say that the sludge you see is made up of all the things of the world you have sought after that lodged in your heart, but then began to decay and make layers of dense brown goo. When that is gone, I will fill you with living waters, and you will flow with my spirit the way you have longed to. You have spoken many times before about feeling blocked. Well, now you are seeing it in real time. The power of my love is supposed to swirl around in your heart like a crystal clear river. But now it runs slow, like an old muddy river. And that is why you've encountered so much opposition to holding the fire of my love and pouring it out to others through your work. You struggle much with these old strongholds in your life, and my heart is to free you from them. Eye has not seen, ear has not heard, all the wonderful things I have in store for you, once there is room for them in your heart. When I called you to this life, you saw yourself on a dusty road in the Middle East, walking beside me in sandals, with almost nothing but your tunic. That was a picture of the greatest purity and detachment of heart and soul from the world. One cannot walk if they are carrying so many things. One must walk without a load, with only the most necessary things in a tiny satchel. But living in a house, you have accumulated much and a taste for much, and that is simply not necessary and in fact is an impediment to your freedom. No, I don't want you to go and throw it all out, but I do care for you to ignore anything that is not necessary for ministry. In this way your heart will be free and clear of clutter. Less is more. Less of the world is more of me. Now as you continue to walk with your heart circumcised, you will still encounter traps laid for you and tests. Be vigilant, Clare. When I tell you to be watchful, I mean it. There is trouble coming and you are not recognizing it, mostly because your initial discernment was poor. When you feel a check in your spirit, you know you're being warned, no matter how you interpret the scriptures I give you in readings. When you feel any kind of check, run from it. Don't entertain it and find out what size, shape, or colors it comes in. Run from it, flush it and move on. It's a trap, and it has teeth, and those teeth will cut into you and hurt you. Once more, the wound will become infected and hurt even more. When I warn you to be watchful, you have already taken a step towards that trap, clearly laid and covered over at your feet to look like something really innocent. And I promise you, the treatment for those injuries will be something you don't ever want to repeat. What is permitted for you is far less than what is permitted for other souls who are not given the task of shepherding. A shepherd carries the bare essentials, only a few things to sustain him. He does not have a wagon following behind him loaded to the hilt with things he enjoys. Rather, he carries medicine for the sheep, a weapon for lions and bears, a bit of food and water, because his entire being is wrapped around the needs of the flock. Anything extra he has can cause him to be distracted at the wrong time, while the lion is stalking his sheep, and he will be so caught up in his distraction that disaster will follow. By the time he sees it, several sheep are already scattered, wounded, lost, and dead. This has already happened to you, my love. So now I address my most precious brides. If you're being called up higher, it is time to leave the things of the world behind, the concerns about what you shall eat, wear, and live. These things will snag you if you allow them to. All around you are people who need a touch from me. Be an encourager wherever you go. Think not of yourself, but of others around you. There will be times when I quicken people to you, and you are inspired to reach out to them. If you're a mother or father, minister to your family first, then teach your children how to pray for the poor, how to give to those in crisis, how to feed the poor, how to be kind and non-judgmental to those they see. Even if they're wrecked and poor, remind them frequently of the Proverbs to help them balance their thinking and grow in wisdom. There is so much you can do to form your children in me before they are released into the world. And truly, this is your first ministry after your husband. But for the rest of you, no one serving as a soldier gets involved in the affairs of this life. Rather, he wants to please him who enlisted him as a soldier. That's 2 Timothy 2:4. When you find the area I've given into your hands to invest your talents, be starkly critical of anything that gets in the way of that, even as it is written. Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one receives the prize? Run in such a way as to take the prize. Everyone who competes in the games trains with strict discipline. They do it for a crown that is perishable, but we do it for a crown that is imperishable. That's 1 Corinthians 9:24 and 25. I know it is difficult to leave your fancies behind in favor of being collected in prayer and action. I know that sometimes you need a walk in the sun, a nap, or something fresh and clean to listen to for inspiration. But my dear ones, try to limit those occasions as much as you can and learn to derive great joy when I use you to touch another soul. Soak in that moment and know that your reward in heaven is secure. And as you become more and more faithful with each minute granted you in your life, I expand your influence and enrich you with greater anointing. And for you, my Clare, know that every branch that bears fruit I prune in order for you to bring forth even more fruit. The cutting away is never pleasant, but the yield is tremendous and well worth it. Persevere, my doves. Do not grow weary. Wait, just wait until you see the reward I've stored up in heaven for each of you. But so that you do not grow weary in the meantime, you who have given your all, you who have fought the good fight against your vices, with you I am highly pleased, and you shall enter into your Master's joy.